What if Facade was in Gen 1 OU? Sorry if my voice sounds kinda off. I have a cold. That's why I haven't been uploading in the past 2 days. It sucks. I don't want to continue more real videos until I sound better. But I'm like, well, you know what? I'm sick, so might as well take advantage of that. And the best way to take advantage of that is by terrestrializing normal and hitting with stab Facade. I can't do most of that, but at the very least, I can still make a video about Facade. Now, unfortunately, I tried testing it in custom games. Facade does not work. You can hit Alakazam with a 140 base power Facade, but it will not care. It will hit as hard as a regular Facade at base 70 power, which is really unfortunate. But I still would like to make a video. One, because, well, I was uploading so consistently and I was doing so well. And I really didn't want to, lose that streak. Because I am getting so close to 800 subscribers. But also, it's still just a legitimately interesting move to talk about. Because imagine if it did work properly. A 70 base power normal move that can go to 140. Just a little bit weaken the Hyper Beam without a bad drawback. That's interesting. So we'll go over a few Pokemon. But I think the most important one to go over is, or at least most interesting, is Tauros. Because would Tauros actually use Facade? It's hard to tell. On one hand, it sounds like it's really good. Because the best thing to counter Tauros beside another Tauros is paralysis or any status move, which that's technically true. But I feel like there's still some massive downsides, because I feel like if you're using Facade, you don't want to get rid of Hyper Beam. That means you have to choose between getting rid of one of your other moves, and you're definitely not getting rid of Body Slam. And having 3 normal moves, Body Slam, Hyper Beam, Facade, doesn't sound very good. You'd rather have more coverage with Earthquake, Thunderbolt, Fire Blast, or Blizzard. Granted, I guess with Facade, there's a decent chance that Fire Blast Tauros might fall out of favor entirely. But I'm not sure. But I feel like even with a super good Facade, let's say you're already paralyzed, well, I do think that makes your matchups against Alakazam and Starmie really, really good. At the same time, I feel like you would just kind of lose to any Tauros that attacks you afterwards. And that's the main thing you're trying to do with Gen 1. You're trying to, manage your resources for the inevitable Tauros mirror. Granted, I still think Facade would be good. It's still a pretty good tech option, I would say. It would just be like Fire Blast or Thunderbolt, where sometimes you customize your last move. And I feel like you can use Facade if you want your Tauros to specifically just take down Alakazams or Starmies. Because with Facade, they have to think twice before actually paralyzing you. What about other Pokemon? Now luckily there's a lot of Pokemon that learn Facade. You have Aerodactyl, which honestly might. Especially for Gen 1 Ubers, which is strangely its only real tier where it has a niche, being a Mew counter with an asterisk. But with Ubers, considering Mew will likely be spamming Body Slams anyways, you already have Reflect and Rest, but maybe you might as well just go for Facade as well, because if the Mew does paralyze you, it's not really able to hurt you, so you might as well have a very powerful normal move you can spam, you know? Outside of that, not much to talk about with Aerodactyl. Same with Cloyster and Dugtrio. I'm not sure why either one of these would want to use it. Granted, 90% attack isn't bad, so maybe you can put on Cloyster, but it has so many better moves it could be using. Dugtrio just can't use it unless it gets burned, because it can't get paralyzed with... Actually, it doesn't matter, because even if it does get paralyzed with, let's say, Body Slam, your Dugtrio is as good as dead anyways. Doesn't matter. Same thing with Gengar And I can't see Gyarados reusing it either. Also, same goes for Jolteon and Magneton. Now, Snorlax is actually pretty interesting. I think Snorlax would be a pretty good user of the move. Because I feel like Snorlax, depending on the set, is already a pretty good, like, Thunder Wave sponge. But instead of rusting it off, I think Snorlax could benefit a lot if it had a boosted 140 base powered normal move. It's already the slowest thing, basically. So with Facade, it could just hit super hard against a lot of things. It doesn't have to worry about like a recharge turn potentially. So I think Snorlax would by far be the best user of the move. And unlike with Tauros, I feel like with Snorlax you can afford to get rid of Hyper Beam for it, which I think is the main reason why I think he would thrive with the move. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Chansey, no matter what, definitely hates the move being a thing. And it's probably for the best it's not in Gen 1, but I'm not sure. I don't think Moltres or Starmie would ever use it. Neither do I think Zapdos. Alakazam is interesting, because Paralysis is probably the best way you can actually beat it. But it has a very weak attack stat, so it's probably not worth it. However, I actually, now that I think about it, could Facade allow you to actually fight Chansey? I'm going to say probably not. And even if it could, like trying to go for special drops with Psychic is probably better. But I'm not sure. I think Exeggutor might use it, because it has a nice 95 attack stat. Not to mention, it'll probably get like status anyways. In fact, you might prefer Exeggutor to get status so that other Exeggutors can't put it to sleep. And I think having a 140 base power move would just be a better double edge. Just being able to do a lot of damage to Chansey. There's Jinx and probably some other Pokemon like Marowak and Machamp, but I don't think it's worth going into those. I think we already have a good idea. I think Facade would be pretty good, but I think it'd be just about as popular as like you'd see Slash. A pretty good normal move, but not better than both Body Slam or Hyper Beam. What do you think? And also, how long do you think I'm going to be sick for? Because I hate it. I just want to go back to normal content. But until that happens, this is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.